Hey guys, today we have Chris here again.
I'm back.
And
after a
he's
long
gonna
time.
show what exactly?
You guys might remember me from my Lightsworn deck profile. So what I'm about to show you here is a mix that I came up. A friend of mine actually recommended me this build. I'm gonna be showing Lunalight which is a combination of Lunalights and Lightsworn at the same time. I haven't seen this deck being played anywhere, and I thought it was a good idea to, I don't know, kind of mix the two of them together to see how they perform. So, I'm gonna start with the main deck right here.
And I also do apologize for the sound because right now we're in a little crowded place. But it's better than nothing.
First, we're gonna start with 3 copies of Judgment Dragon. A lot of people run this in the deck, some of them don't, but I run it because it's a good boss monster, pay 1,000, destroy everything, just like that. I obviously have to start the Lightsworn lineup with my favorite, Felice. 3 copies of her because, best card. Tributes, destroys, milks 3, and she can force the timing of some of the cards that say when they're destroyed. Next up, 3 Lumina, pretty straightforward, revive from graveyard. 3 copies of Raiden to boost your milling, and 3 copies of Wolf. You want to get these as much as possible, as well as Felice. Now we're going for the Lunalights. For the Lunalights, I use 3 copies of Lunalight Tiger. This is one of the key cards you always want to see in your hands all the time, because it revives your Lunalight and then brings them back. I'm going to show you guys a little combo at the end of the profile that has worked wonders for me. 2 Kaleido Chicks. There's no need to run 3 because 3 can clog your hand sometimes, so it's best to run it at 2. 2 Lunalight Wolves to access your Leo Dancer. 2 Black Sheeps in order to recuperate your Tigers or your Wolves in case you end up milling them with your Lightsworns. And last but not least, 1 Lunalight Yellow Marten. This is one of your main combo pieces, so you're gonna have to run her. I don't run any of the trap cards or anything. I only run 1 spell card related to Lunalights. And for the extra monster, I run 1 Electromagnetic Turtle for defenses, since it's the one thing that Lightsworn currently lacks. Now for the spells, I run 3 Charge of the Light Brigade, and 3 Solar Recharges. Your draw power, your search. This is also a good chance to mill Kaleido Chick, or this card right here, which is Lunalight Perfume. This one card, it's good either in the hand or in the graveyard, since it allows you to search in the graveyard by banishing 1 and a card from your hand to the graveyard, and then you search a Lunalight. Any Lunalight of your choice. So sometimes having a Wolf or Felice is good in your hand for discard fodder. 3 Far Formation Tankies to search for your Beast Warriors. And last but not least, 1 Foolish Burial and 1 Monster Reborn.
Was it a little bit tight doing this deck?
Not really. At first, I was actually thinking of what should I mix Lightsworns with, since Lightsworns cannot compete as well on their own, and they have to depend on another deck in order to compete. So I was looking for answers, and then a friend of mine told me, "Hey, why don't you mix Lightsworns with Lunalight?" And then I said to myself, "That's not gonna work. There's no way that they're gonna work together." When she took out her laptop and showed me the combo she did on YGO Pro, I started to believe her. So that's why I came up with this deck profile, thanks to her. Also, we're gonna go for the extra deck. We got the 2 fusions, Lunalight Leo Dancer and Lunalight Panther Dancer. You're gonna send this with your Kaleido Chick, and you're gonna summon this with Wolf. Once you summon Leo Dancer with Wolf, Wolf's purpose has already been completed, and if they destroy her, there's no need to worry about it. Next for the Synchros, I run 1 copy of Michael the Arc Lightsworn, 1 copy of World Savage, and 1 copy of FA Drone Dragster. These are my only synchros. Always good for negating, spells and traps, anything in between. And of course, it's a Lightsworn monster and can remove some pesky monsters along the way.
And also can give you life points, right?
Yes. Don't forget about its effect. When it gets destroyed, you can grab a certain amount of Lightsworns from your graveyard, return it to the deck, and you gain 300 for each.
Alright.
For the Xyz, I run 2 copies of Minerva the Exalted Lightsworn, 1 copy of Bagushka, and 1 copy of Time Thief Reviewer. I run Bagushka because this thing has proven to be quite a hassle to a lot of decks, dinosaurs included. Once you put this in the fence, they're literally wasting a lot of resources just to get over the Bagushka. And Time Thief Reviewer is always good, just to disrupt your opponent in case they run spells or like Sky Strikers. And it can also give you a draw. Now for the Link monsters, I run 1 copy of Curious, the Lightsworn Dominion. You have to run him by obligation. Don't freak out with the card I'm about to show you. I run 1 copy of Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess.
Okay. If you guys don't have Appaloosa, we can Unchained Abomination, Borlo, any link for that you can get a hold of you for a budget play. It works, right, Chris?
Borlo's can work as well as Borrow's Sword. So whatever is good for you, I recommend it. So you don't really have to run Apollousa if you don't want to, but it is an easier option since it only requires 2 or more monsters. This is the one card that makes all the difference, and this has won me tournaments over and over. So once Apollousa gets cheaper, I suggest you get her.
Yeah, if you get it. But obviously, if you don't have the money, have the budget option. Always have it.
Exactly. Next we have the Nightmare package. Unicorn, Cerberus, Phoenix. Removal, monster removal, spell trap removal, and my last but questionable Link monster, Lanpharyngeus.
Why Lanpharyngeus?
2 reasons. First off, it's a light monster. Second of all, if my opponent is running a deck like Mystic Mine and just locks my field with tokens, I can use 2 of the tokens to go straight into Lanpharyngeus, and since the tokens are going to be light anyway, I can just summon any Lightsworn and go instantly to Curious. So it's a good way to remove yourself from that type situation. The reason I don't run Masquerena is because she's a dark type. She is a good card, I'm not saying she's bad, but for what I want, it just doesn't serve the purpose, which is to go for Curious. So that was the extra deck. And now I am currently going for the side deck. Mind you that these are optional cards, so you don't have to run the side deck if you don't want to. I got 3 Artifact Lancias. Don't forget that Thunder Dragons are still a thing, so...
But not that powerful.
They're not that powerful, but I just don't like Thunder Dragons to begin with, so I'm preventing them from playing at all. When your opponent summons 5 monsters, what do you summon? Nibiru. I run 2 of them. I don't have the 3rd copy, but 2's more than enough. Also, it works wonders for the deck, considering that it's a light type, and you can go for Curious, and it's also a rock type too. So you can search it with Galan Granite if you want to use that.
And against the Dragon Links.
Exactly. And the 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pancratops. This is really good for a lot of decks, especially the ones that keep interrupting you and they just negate all your stuff. So it's best to, oh, I target this, I'm gonna destroy it, I tribute it, and I'm gonna destroy your card. For the spells, there's a reason why I run this spell card in my side deck. Enemy Controller. So, I was playing Duel Links the other day and I said to myself, wow, this card's really good. So, at that time, there is one deck currently that causes me a lot of trouble and I have trouble beating. That deck would be Magical Muskets.
For a little bit background, Chris has the biggest and deepest passion of hate against muskets.
The deck is just so degenerate, in fact, that it doesn't let me do practically anything. And I noticed that without any magical muskets, they cannot do most of their plays. So that's why I decided to run Enemy Controller to steal their musket so that they cannot use max so that they cannot use any of their spells and traps, etc. You know, just giving them a minor setback. For back row hate, I'm running 3 copies of Twin Twister, pretty self-explanatory. For the traps, I run 2 summon limits. This is always good for any type of deck that involves special summoning. Anything that just spams the board or goes special summon, if you go first, you want to open with this thing at your beginning hand. And of course, traps are still a thing, so that's why I run the 1 copy of Red Reboot.
Yeah, and Red Reboot and Lingaribo, it's actually pretty good against Ultra, guys.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so the question I'm gonna ask, in Dual Overload, is there any extra deck monster that you would swap for the extra deck of the Lightsworn Lunalight?
If I were to decide what card would I swap, I think I would swap one of the Minervas with 5-headed Link Dragon.
Why the 5-headed Link Dragon?
The 5-headed Link Dragon is unaffected by card effects, so you don't have to have any of the attributes for that. All you need is 5 monsters. Once you have that, you're gonna have a 5,000 beat stick that is practically invincible. So you're gonna be steamrolling to everything that comes out of your way. All you have to do is banish 5 cards from your graveyard face down to keep it alive. But trust me, it's worth it in the end.
Well, guys, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Anything you want to say, Chris?
Before we go, I want to show you guys a little combo with my deck so that you get a bright idea of what I'm talking about. So, the combo involves only 2 cards, and it's these 2 right here. So, the combo goes like this. You summon Kaleido Chick by any means. It doesn't necessarily have to be a normal summon, just any type of summon is perfect. With Kaleido Chick, you're gonna send Lunalight Yellow Marten to the graveyard. Then you're gonna activate Tiger, and with Tiger, you're gonna revive Yellow Marten. Once that's done, you're gonna use these 2 in order to summon your Lamphorhynchus. Lunalight Tiger returns to your hand because of Yellow Marten. Then Tiger uses its effect again in order to activate Kaleido Chick once more. Kaleido Chick's effect activates, and this time you're gonna send Panther Dancer to the graveyard. Once that's said and done, you have two level 4s. So you know what that means. Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn. From here on out, it's based on the normal summon, or if you send Felice or Wolf, so that you can extend your combos. Let's say, for example, we just send Felice to the graveyard. So, I'm just gonna detach right here. The 1 card you wanna detach first is Kaleido Chick. We'll get into that later. So, once you have your card, you're gonna link 3. Since they're all light, Beast Warrior, Cyberse, Fairy. You're gonna go into Curious, and right after Curious, you want to send one of your monsters. Whether it's Felice or Wolf, it doesn't really matter. So you summon that, and you're gonna send the top 3 cards. So right here, you can go into first turn Apollousa.
Alright.
So, how do I make these huge boards? How do I summon Leo Dancer? If you by any chance have a Lunalight in your graveyard and you have Wolf in your hand, do not bother to normal summon the Kaleido Chick. You can Pendulum summon with these 2. So just Pendulum summon the Kaleido Chick, go into the full combo, and you might end up with a board somehow like this.
The great thing about Wolf is that you can banish the materials from the graveyard as well.
And her fusion summon cannot be negated as well, which is implemented in her pendulum effect. So, and if they destroy her, it doesn't really matter because she already served her purpose.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? That you put the Curious on the Savage, so you have at least 3 counters on them.
Yes, this is your endgame combo right here. This is what your board is gonna look like the majority of the time.
Okay. So guys, that's pretty much his end board. Like, he has the Apollousa, he has the Savage, he has the Leo Dancer, 3 counters, the Pendulum. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right, Chris?
That's pretty much it for the profile and the combo itself. That's all that I have to show. Now, if I were to say something, if Konami, if you're listening to this video,
Not this again. Not this again.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna say it.
Oh, I'm gonna say it
He's
already.
gonna say it, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
do
say it.
apologize.
Konami, if you're hearing this, I want some Lightsworn support. Thank you very much, because the deck just cannot perform well on its own and needs to depend on another deck to perform well. That's why I'm using it with Lunalights.
Oh God.
Maybe some defense would be good for the deck.
Oh yeah, he's been asking for that support for how long?
Over 700 days, I count them.
Oh my God. So guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Chris, for your deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, there's the window, there's the door. If you don't, go YOLO, whatever. And I'll see you guys later. Say goodbye, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.